Okay, guys, let's go ahead and get started here at the top of the hour. So where to start? Where to start here? First of all, I assume that you guys can still see my screen. Every once in a while when I hit that recording button, it throws a curveball at the system. If you cannot, please do let me know. But what we're going to talk about today in this membership webinar is what I call the Fast Path to Cash product creation system. And basically, in short, what that's all about is years ago I had the realization that creating a new product on my end took far too much time and effort, particularly for something that I wasn't 100% certain whether or not it was going to convert anyway. And I had sort of this mini epiphany that if I created a product in modules and released the modules as I went along, not calling them modules, but instead releasing them, as a standalone report, that I would make money faster and it would keep the job at hand small enough that it didn't feel overwhelming and daunting. And as I went along, I could create a product or build a list as I was creating a product. Okay, so the Fast Path idea was to build a list and to make money while creating the product. Now, what does this have to do with affiliate marketing? What it has to do is very simply that it's a great benefit to have anything at all that you are able to offer, number one, as a bonus for people buying somebody else's product. It's also a great advantage to have something of value to offer, of legitimate value to offer as an opt-in incentive. And as we go along and start out as affiliates selling other people's products, eventually once we've built the list, it would be really great to have our own items to be able to sell to that list, where we are able to keep 100% of the profit. And of course, even better than that is to eventually reach the point where we have affiliates selling for us. So I know that for some of you this might be getting a bit advanced, a bit fast, but what I want to do today, this is going to be kind of a bit different. It's going to be a little bit like walking a tightrope without a net, and it's something that I've wanted to try and to do for a while, and I haven't done. And that is to actually go through this process with you guys live and show you just how quickly you can put together a nice little report. It may not be finished and all polished and whatnot, but certainly, if you get the focus and you get the effort behind it, you can output something of pretty good value in a very short period of time. And when I say a short period of time, one of the claims that I make on this product is that in 4 hours or less you can create a report, and that includes a sales letter and having the thing up for sale. So we will not spend 4 hours today, and therefore we will not write a sales letter and have this thing up for sale. But we are going to go through the actual process of putting something together, in a very fast and loose sort of way. So I'm going to ask for your participation as we go. So if you happen to be just listening to me, in a very passive sense, I'm going to ask you to be a bit more in tune and active today as we go through this thing. So let's go ahead and start out here by taking a look at the mind map that I've created for this particular product. And I will explain this in some detail. As you can see, it might look like there's a lot here just on your screen, and as we go through this, this is just part one of 6 parts, and we certainly won't have time to cover all of those today. But I just want to go through some of these things and address some of the issues that people commonly have. I think in general, getting any work done at all And then as we cover some of these things and really the perspective and how we're thinking from, how we're thinking about all of this, then we'll get into more of the doing here, the demonstration of it, okay? So, the first thing that I've noticed with creating a product, but this applies to creating a website in general, is just the first hurdle for us to overcome is clarity. And to be really clear about what it is that we are striving for, and what it is that we're going to include in our site and all that sort of stuff. And so one thing that I have found to be true, guys, almost always when I am struggling, it tends to correlate with spending a lot of time at the computer. And so, I'm certainly not good at this. And there are days, I spend 12 hours at the computer and I accomplish nothing. And so I would encourage you, in the process of gaining clarity with anything, to get away from the computer. Personally, I like to go to a coffee shop. I like to, take my iPod or whatever you may have, music playing device, and put on my headphones. Even if I don't listen to music, I find that putting the headphones on is kind of a stop sign. If you happen to be going to some place where people know you, that's kind of a do not disturb sign. So I like to do that. I like to get out and away and get the clarity on what it is that I'm trying to do away from the computer, because there are simply too many distractions. The next part of that then is the plan, and that as well, comes in the whole clarity process. Once I'm clear, then I develop my plan of action. How is it that I'm going to go about doing this? A lack of constraints is a real big one, and I think one of the reasons that this system has worked for me, and it's worked for a lot of other people too, is when we sit down to create something, particularly online, a website is not a defined size. It could be one page, it could be 25 pages, it could be 5,000 pages. And at some certain point in time, many of us feel like that crazy person out in California, that one crazy person out in California, right, that you may have heard about, who built like this immense house, and they just kept building more rooms on and building more rooms on and building more rooms on. And so we need to have some constraints. Although most of the time we are looking for ways to overcome our constraints, we also have to put some limitations in place and recognize that this is the scope of what it is that we're going to do and nothing more. And we'll talk about that in a bit. And then I think the fourth and final thing is a lack of confidence. And I don't think that this can be overstated or understated depending on your perspective. But my excuse way back in the day when I was getting started was, well, I've never created anything and I don't know that anybody will like it and I don't know that I'm any good. And at this point in time, I've had a number of really big successes and sold, many dollars worth of my own products and services, as well as other people's, and yet, that little voice still comes up and says, well, this isn't good enough, this isn't this enough, this, whatever. And so the only thing I can say, I wish that I had the ultimate advice to give you on confidence with regard to that. But I would say, number one, just know that that's going to happen. Know that that happens to everybody. It doesn't matter who it is out there. And number two, the best way to overcome that is by really nailing it on steps 1, 2, and 3, or points 1, 2, and 3 here, and to narrow the focus. I think in recent years, to be self-critical, one of the mistakes that I've made is trying to be an expert on too many things, to know too many things, because sitting in my seat, you know, everybody wants to know. There are 100 and, you know, I'll just say there are 100 traffic sources out there. There are probably, you know, well over 1,000 traffic sources out there, and it's inevitable somebody asks me about something that I've never even heard of before, you know, and they're asking me kind of with the expectation that I'm going to know everything. And, you know, it's just taken a while to get comfortable with saying, hey, I'm sorry, I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to look that up. So those things, if you just know right out of the gate before you get started that those are the problems that you're going to face, and you think about how you will deal with those problems before you have to face them, that will greatly increase your odds of success, I have found. Okay? So, as always, guys, if there are any questions at any point in time, please do let me know. So what we will do here in a little bit is, as we go through this, and this is just something I'll toss out there, you know, because I want it to come across as an actual legit, not a rigged demonstration. But for you guys to have in mind something that we could create, a subject matter that we could create a quick report around. So you guys kind of, you know, toss that around in the back of your mind as we go along here, okay? So moving along here, as we get to work, we're delving into the plan. And so the plan is this, and I'll hit the broad strokes here first. It's a 6-part plan. And of course, this would be if you're actually selling a product. So as the affiliate, you know, we're not going to do all of these things. But number 1 is to create a mind map. And let me go ahead and summarize them, and then I'll come back to this point. Number 2 is to write a really simple sales letter. Number 3, you know, here I say write 1 report per day for each chapter, but, you know, write it at whatever is comfortable for you. And number 4 is sell it. Number 5, repeat the process. And number 6 would be to compile and output the final product as a you know, package. So let's just say, for example, that I wrote 10 modules here, and I might have sold, in order to build up my list, I might have sold each one of them for $7 on, you know, the Warrior special offer forum. But ultimately, in the end, with my 10 chapters, I'm looking at a $100 or better product that I'm going to sell people, depending on what format it is that I provide it to them in. Okay? So coming back here to point number 1, to create the mind map. And I also want to just quickly say welcome, Tish, and welcome, Samantha. It's good to have you here. So point number 1 with creating the mind map, I found in, you know, the biggest product that I ever wrote was the very first version of the Affiliate Black Book, and it was like 170 pages. And one of the embarrassing things with releasing that product was, you know, and keep in mind I had been working on this thing for probably 6 months when I released it, was somebody wrote and they were like, you know, there's a whole section here of like 12 pages that's repeated. It's in different sections of the book. And so if you've ever tried to write something using word processing software like Microsoft Word, once something gets to be bigger than 20, 25 pages, it's extremely difficult to rearrange content, to not have duplicate content. Quite often in the writing process, you know, you may have an idea and then realize that really that idea is bigger than you originally thought, and you know, it may require its own dedicated chapter. And at any rate, it becomes very, very difficult to rearrange things and keep them organized. And so at a certain point, I don't even remember when it was, I began writing all of my material using mind maps. And you'll kind of see as we go through the process the beauty of that and how that works, okay? If you're wondering, I'm in this demonstration today using MindJet mind mapping software, and you'll see at the bottom of my screen it says 30 days left in trial by now. Preparing for today's webinar, first of all, somehow I managed to overwrite my PowerPoint presentation with another file, so I didn't have my PowerPoint presentation. And then when I went to, I thought, well, okay, fine, I'll go with my mind map. And when I went to open that up, for some reason I was getting a corrupt file error for MindJet. So I downloaded this and this latest version, and I thought, well, hey, that's great, you know, because you guys can try it out and you can see this whole thing. I assume this whole thing is possible just using their free 30-day trial, and then you can see if you like it. Now, let me just say, disclaimer number one, I'm not an affiliate for MindJet. I absolutely love the software. I think it's great, and at this point in time, there are a lot of options out there for much less expensive or even free. But I happen to think that this is, you know, the Cadillac, if you will, of mind mapping software, and I'm comfortable using it because I've been using it for 6 or 7 years now. So that's the main reason that I recommend using mind mapping software. So just to go through a little bit here, I think if you guys notice over here on the very right-hand side of my screen, I have a bunch of files. So these are all files that I have created over the years, and these are my business files. I've got another folder full of personal files. And so anything at all that I feel is of value, or if I'm writing, you know, my own product or whatnot, I make a mind map for it. So you'll see here I've got one for search engine optimization. And I find this is just kind of an aside, but I find this very useful, very happy making, okay, very useful when I'm doing coaching with people or that type of thing. And it makes me seem and sound a whole lot smarter than I probably actually really am. But it's really nice to be able to have somebody say, oh, hey, you know, I'm having this certain issue, and I can pop open one of these mind maps real quick as I'm working with them, and it just has all kinds of ideas and reminders in here for me that I can share with people. So that was a slight aside there. But the way that I use this is, let's just say, you know, I'm over on the Warrior Forum, or I happen to be on Facebook and I'm in, you know, a group like Internet Marketing Super Friends. And, you know, somebody makes a really good suggestion about something that I haven't heard before. What I'll do is I'll copy and I'll paste that. So let's just say, you know, somebody gives me a great suggestion on blogging. I'll copy and paste, you know, their idea, whether that be from, you know, it could be from any source, Facebook, in an article, you know, wherever. It doesn't matter where you grab it at. And I just come over here and I'll pop it in as a note. Okay, so just, you know, whatever. Okay, and so what that is when I output it from the mind mapping software, you'll see that basically a mind map, the way that it's organized, will look just like an outline, you know, just like we used to do in school, where you've got to create your outline of something. I happen to like the mind mapping format better just because visually it organizes things in a way that allows me to easily rearrange them and kind of visualize how things, you know, fit together spatially, which is probably just a personal preference based upon how my mind works. But it may suit you as well. You know, when you guys go out there and you take a look around at different mind mapping software, keep in mind that they all do different things and they all have a different logic depending upon what it is that you want to do. But I find that this one Mind Manager happens to do a really good job with regard to being able to write a book and that type thing. Okay? So let me go ahead and close that. So just keep in mind that in order to output something good pretty quickly, I mean, you can go out and you could do a dedicated couple of hours of research and just look around and read, you know, posts and blogs and what have you, and pop those things in, or just develop the habit of, as you go, if you're reading about a subject matter and you're learning about it, anytime that you come across something that you think is useful or valuable, collect it, pop it into a mind map like this, and that's kind of what I'm covering up here. And collect it as you go. And then when you actually sit down to output your report, you've got a wealth of knowledge there. You'll have most of your outline already in place, and then it just becomes really a matter of you know, rewriting, clarifying, kind of making things flow and sound good together. Okay? So yeah, I think that's pretty much what we wanted to cover there. Again, this isn't like the whole training here, and anything else that you may want to know should be in the product, in the book itself, and I just want to hit the high points. So let's go ahead and now talk about some sources of inspiration, because you might be thinking, okay, you know, this all sounds great, but you know, what do I write about? What is it that people want to hear about? And so I'll just point out here, we won't go through all of these, but you know, take a look at articles that are already out there that have been written by other people. I mean, there are tons of stuff. You can find that by simply doing a search in Google. Like for example here, I have up on my screen how to improve conversion rate. And so we've got 13 ways, we've got 53 ways, we've got 39 ways. And if it happened to be, you know, 101 ways, you know, down below there. So on the one hand, although that's kind of well covered territory, on the other hand, you can see right there, I could put together a killer report or even a series of killer reports without having an original idea of my own. Okay. As well, in the brainstorming up here, always keep in mind, if you go to Google and you type in the beginning of a search string like how to improve, Google will come up and it will show you you know, some of the top searches that contain that search string. And as well, one other idea, if you guys go to factorxmarketing.com/keyword-ninja, and you can check any of these that you want to, but I checked Google here, and I typed in, just for example, affiliate marketing. Okay, and when I do that and I click submit, it creates a CSV file for me that I can download, and that's what this looks like. And so if I wanted an idea for, you know, a good high quality report that I wanted to create, or in this case even it gives me some real ideas actually regarding you know, different angles on the affiliate marketing market itself, you know, because I tend to think of it as just people like you and I who want to sell other people's stuff, but of course there are people out there who have their own products and services, and they want to, you know how to attract affiliates and all that sort of stuff. But as you can see here, I've got a list of like 284 keyword phrases that were searched in the previous month on Google that included affiliate marketing. Okay, and so if I go through here, I'm bound to get, you know, a solid handful of ideas with regard to what I might, you know, be able to create something of value to people with, to offer as an opt-in incentive. Okay, and so today we're mostly going to focus on opt-in incentives, but again, as I've alluded to, you know, a really great strategy, a bit more advanced, would be to write, let's say Well, let's say that I've got the Affiliate Black Book, which is a $200 product. Now, there are not probably a great deal of people out there without a solid endorsement from somebody like Andre Chaperone or Sarah Starr or Keith Baxter or whoever that are going to come along and likely spend $200 on, you know, an affiliate marketing product from somebody going by X, right? But they would be much more likely maybe to take a chance, you know, with your $7 report on, you know, 5 quick ways to make money with affiliate marketing that you then sell on the Warrior Forum, and then as a back end say, hey, you know, if you're really looking to, you know, get into the more advanced stuff and get out there and really do some damage and build a real business, you know, check out the Affiliate Black Book, okay? So you can use that $7 product as a lead generator for yourself in order to sell somebody else's product on the back end, all right? Somebody today, actually I won't use that example because, well, I think it's okay. He posted it on the site. Somebody today came along and asked if you guys are familiar with Sam Carpenter. He wrote a really good book called Work the System. And he said that, you know, he was searching specifically for the number of searches on Work the System Academy, which is a training program that Sam Carpenter offers. And he said that there weren't that many searches for it, which is not surprising because I have some experience with trying to promote that product as an affiliate myself. And I would say that is really the kind of golden opportunity example where there are lots of people out there interested in being able to build a systemized business in order to free them up and, you know, to have a real business as opposed to the I'm doing everything myself business. And so that's very appealing, but in that case I think probably, you know, for him to create a lower priced product on the subject of systematizing a business and then back-ending people to sell that would be a good approach. As well, as you guys will see, I answered him on the site. I think in this case, you know, that's also a good example of where people are familiar with Sam Carpenter and they're familiar with his Work the System book, and that would be ideal for building a site around ideas from that book and you know, videos that Sam does because he's very active in that. However, I don't think that his full-blown program did as well as they hoped and expected, and I think it was really a conversion issue on their end, and therefore I don't really think most people in his market, you know, who even like and follow him are even familiar with that product. So anyway, so I've probably hammered that point to death, and we can move on to the next idea here, which I think is actually really a gold mine for anybody who wants to do any kind of content creation, whether it be content creation simply to get people on your website, or if it's looking for angles for opt-in offers or, you know, whatever it might be. So I really like to go out, and I really do go out and borrow liberally from what's already out there on the Internet. And I think, first of all, it really requires a shift in mindset because even if, you know, one of the biggest things that's always irritated me and probably irritates a lot of product creators is when somebody invariably writes, and this opens on $7 products. It never happens on $200 and more products. But somebody invariably always writes, oh, I could find all of this information online for free. You know, to which, you know, my first thought is, well, if that's true, why are you here? You know, looking for this? And then my, you know, the second thought is like, geez, you know, in most cases, you know, I mean, there are some really crappy products out there, no doubt about it. But in a lot of cases, if the information is good, even if I can find it for free, how much time do I have to spend before, before saving $7 is something that I can justify as a smart decision. Okay, so so kind of set those things aside, guys. If you have that thought, oh gee, I can just zip on over here. I mean, quite honestly, even if I could zip over here to John Lee Dumas's podcast site and glean all kinds of great information for free, it still takes hours and hours and hours to go through that and to put it all together. And for us it's worthwhile because we're going to disseminate that information to hundreds or thousands of people. But for one person to do it and then to complain, about spending a few bucks in order to have that done, for them, it's just kind of crazy to me. But anyway, the main point here is if you go through here and just look at some of these headlines are really well written, and they would all by themselves, be a perfect opt-in incentive, like this one. The number one struggle most entrepreneurs face when it comes to creating systems. So, it doesn't really matter if I know what that answer is or not. That headline creates enough intrigue that it's like, oh, of course we would want to rephrase that just slightly if it was an opt-in instead of headline, but if we just put something like discover the secret to solving the number one struggle most entrepreneurs face when it comes to creating systems, forever, I mean, that would be a pretty compelling thing, right? And so, you can go down here. So that's number one. There are some great ideas that you will find in here. And it's not just here, not just this site, but any of the blog or podcasting sites. Go check those out for ideas. But as well, listen to some of these podcasts because they're really, some of them are really, really rich with information, okay? And utilize that. Pop that in, put that into your mind map, and utilize it as content for what it is that you're creating. Okay, so I'm realizing that I probably better shut up and we better get to work. So, because I really think that the demonstration here is going to help us out the most. So I'm going to go ahead and put this out to you guys here. If in, let's just say, the next 20 minutes we're going to create a report on some subject, give me something that you guys would like to see a subject quickly created around. And I'm going to give you guys just a second as I hop back over here and open up another window that I just thought about that we want to use as we go along here. So that chat box is quiet, guys. I need your help. I need your help, or I'm just going to have to hang up and call it a day, okay? No, I wouldn't do that, but it would be great to have a suggestion. Let's see here. All right, good. It looks like we've got one. I'll check that out. So I also want to point out to you guys, if you haven't checked this out, this is on your start page. From the start page under Affiliate Black Book 3.0 downloads, there's a tool down here called Info Seeker. And this is something that I've been using for a number of years. It's pre-populated with a bunch of how-to topics here, which is just nice if you need some ideas to get started with. And I do believe that we have somewhere a webinar in the archives that explains how to use this. But if you just play around with it for a few minutes, it's pretty easy to figure out. All right, great. We've got a couple of things here. Let's see. Randy. Let's see. Randy says how to create videos to promote your business. Okay, that's cool, Randy. And Jordan started to type something, but then he dropped the mic and walked off. Okay. All right. Well, that's cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and start out here, guys, with How-To Seeker. Okay. What we want to do up here in this little search box is type in something relatively generic. Okay, so we don't need the how-to part. We're just going to type in create videos to promote business. Okay, and so if I click this little star here, it will add it to the list, but we don't want to do that because that's installed on my site. So I come down here and I can click on tips. Okay, and what this will do is do a nice quick search for tips to make your video marketing easy. Okay, and so what we're going to do here is just simply click on this, and I'm not going to be real discerning in terms of reading through this and picking out the best, most high quality stuff. And again, like I said, keep in mind that we're kind of doing this as we go. So this seems kind of like a cool thing. Okay, find your company's best cheerleader. So let's come back over here to the mind map. Our central topic then is how to create videos to promote your business. Okay, and then I'll insert a new main topic, and I will just, no, that's not what I want to do. What I want to do here, let's see, find your company's best cheerleader. So we just want the main thing. Okay, and then I want to post the rest of that into my notes. Okay, so there you go. That's topic number 1. And we'll pop back over here. Golly, my mouse has got a mind of its own. I'll just say include other people. And again, we'll do another topic, and you'll see here that as I'm doing this, now imagine if I was pasting this into Microsoft Word, which I could do as we go along, just to kind of show you. I'll do that off screen, and at the end I'll show you, and you guys will kind of see the difference of how much easier it is to work with this. Okay, and then we can come down here, create compelling content collaboratively. So you can kind of see we're developing a theme. Okay, I'm going to paste that. Okay, so you guys probably get the idea there. Now we'll come back here. Thank you for your help on this site. And we'll come back here and we'll check out the next site then down on the list, which happens to be the same site. We don't need that guy again. 12 tips for using YouTube to promote your business. Try this one out. And so we won't do a whole lot of this, but in fact I won't do, there we go, that's a pretty good one. Actually, we'll just type that in. And it's hard to tell where things start and end here. Okay, so we'll come back. Choose best keywords. Okay, and again, so we won't keep copying and pasting all of this stuff in here, because that just kind of slows us down. We just want to get enough here that we can, all right, so we'll just steal keywords from popular videos. Add multiple calls to action. So what I'm going for here is I probably want to come up with just, got that in the wrong place. Yeah, I'm going to have that problem. There we go. Come on. My trigger finger is off today, I guess, guys. Here we go. Okay. So at any rate, we could go on and on here. We'd like to have like 15 or so of these, but I don't think we need to belabor this point. I'm going to close. I'm going to close this notepad window here. Now, from here, what I want to do is then begin to recognize how my ideas fit together. Okay, so I might see this here. Okay, find your company's best cheerleader, include other people, collaborate content collaboratively. Okay, that's probably not what that said, but that works. Okay, so I'm going to recognize that and say, you know what? Here's a chapter on how to get other people to create awesome videos that sell your products. Okay? And then I can take this and just very easily move that under there. I'm now like going, okay, this is how we're going to organize this here. Okay? And then my next chapter might be, you know, how to get traffic to your videos, right? That makes sense with these other ones. Massive traffic to your videos, okay? And then, boom, I'll just move those over. Okay. They're here. All right. So that's very quick and dirty. Obviously, you know, if we were going to create a full-blown product, we'd want more than this. But let's just take a look at this right here. If I were to create a product or an opt-in offer, so first of all, let's say that my site is selling a program. Now I don't know, you know, who's like the guru out there on producing you know, sales videos. Mike Koenigs, maybe. He used to be the guy, okay? Maybe he's the guy now. So let's just say that Mike has, you know, a $500 product for sale that I wanted to sell. And as an affiliate, I've got my site, and I've got, you know, it's all about how to sell your business using videos. And so I'm going to then put on my site an opt-in offer, something to the effect of how to get other people to create awesome videos that sell your products for you. Okay? Just give me your name and email address, and I'm going to shoot that off to you. Okay? So just from visiting one site, we have 3 ideas here. And I probably, you know, to round that out, would myself look to have maybe 5 to 7 good solid ideas there that I've pulled from another site, and boom, there they are. Now this, of course, like I said, is very quick and dirty. Now I want to compare this to, you know, you guys saw how easily I was able to rearrange things and quickly see how my ideas fit together and work together with each other. And I only pasted a few of these over here, you know, into Word. But I hope that you can see pretty quickly and easily, like, wow, this is just kind of a mess. You know, maybe it'd be better if I had pasted the headings in here, but it'd be very difficult for me to then work with this and move things around. So we'll go ahead and get rid of this guy. Nope, we don't want to save him. And then the final cool thing, and like I said earlier, I'm not trying to sell you on MindJet. What I can do here, once I've got my mind map the way that I want it to be, is I can simply click Export to Microsoft Word. Okay, I'll go ahead and save this to my desktop, test doc, and it'll ask me some questions. Just for simplicity, I'm just going to say Export, and then you guys will see in just a moment. So it's exporting everything that I just did, and I can open that now. And boom, there you go. So it pops in kind of like, you know, writing something, creating something with Roman numerals. It pops numbers in there for you, which you can change and define. It puts in your headlines that you would have there as you go through, and there we are, you know. And so we actually did that in just about 5 minutes, guys. Okay, so I may have gone through that even faster than we needed to go through that, but we did that in about 5 minutes. And while it certainly has, you know, some work to do, we haven't gone through and we haven't edited it. We haven't put a table of contents in it. We haven't put a report, you know, cover sheet page on it. You can see how quickly and easily it is that we can go about putting something together using this approach and this method. Okay, so geez, I feel like I raced through that almost too fast. Does anybody have a question? Ask me a question. You know, let me know. Is there anything here that you'd like to know? At the very least, if you feel like this is useful, go ahead and give me a vote there, either with the hot or cold. And if there's something that I need to go in more in depth on that process, please let me know. But I feel like it's really straightforward and really simple, and I'd like you guys' feedback if you agree with that. And if not, that's okay too, because you know, we've got another 10-15 minutes here, and I'm happy to answer questions as well. If not, I will just hop back on over here to our mind map and just, you know, cover some things. So you know, we took a look here, sources of inspiration. We took a look at articles. So that was just a quick and easy search there in, you know, and this is around the idea of, awesome, thank you, Randy. And so this was just around the quick and easy idea of like going out there and looking at articles and repurposing what people are doing. Now you might be thinking, well, okay, you know, give me something more. Give me something more, Mr. X. So let's go over to ClickBank, all right? And ClickBank at this point in time may not be the best place to look, at least in the internet marketing niche. I think it's been surpassed by JVZoo these days. But we can go take a look in their marketplace. Now the reason that we're going here is that we're looking for things within our market that might have some interest to us. So let's just go ahead and let's click on home and garden, something a little bit different, and heck, I don't know, interior design. All right. So as you go through, you can look at the things. Maybe that wasn't a good one. It doesn't look like home and design are hot sellers on the ClickBank marketplace. But the point here is, you know, you can create reports based upon what other people are selling as products. So feng shui secrets that will change your life. You know, opt in for feng shui secrets that will change your life, right? Paint color cheat sheets, that could be interesting. I've got a paint chip collector in my house, so she'd be all over that. You know, basic kitchen layout and design. So those are not exactly inspiring. We'll just check out one more real quick while we're here. I wouldn't expect this to be a hot seller either. How to repair your sewing machine, how to start your own machine quilting business. Okay. So anyway, you guys probably get the idea there, but if you look around, particularly at the more, this probably I would imagine would be a bit better seller, say barbecue. Yeah, there you go. That I know would appeal because I know a handful of people who are into competition barbecues. So, you know, top, you know, barbecue competition secrets. There you go. And I'm sure you could go out there and do a search and find something there. It might be a difficult sell, but at any rate, that's the ClickBank thought. Next, magazines. So let's hop on over. Magazines are an infinitely rich source of headline ideas. So let's go to Amazon, and we'll take a look at magazines. Probably don't really need to go into this. But you know, one thing I'm thinking of while I'm thinking of it, let's see. Looking for a good one. Well, these magazines, these magazines always have good copy. Okay, so there you go. You know, it's all about that face. Your no BS anti-aging guide. All right. Break the fashion rules. Denim for work. Okay, I don't know about that one, but maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's your thing. Let's see here. Looking for. We want to try to keep this somewhat family friendly, so I don't know if this is a good choice or not, but maybe it is. Cosmo magazine, they have some really great headlines. There you go. You know, there's the dating market for women. How to get the man to marry you. You know, even if he's a tough case. You know, why women put up with men who beat them. Okay, that's awful. So anyway, you know, go out there, use headlines from magazines as inspiration for opt-in offers, and as covered in the Black Book, even take that a step further. Forums, you know, people ask questions and share answers in forums all the time, so that's a really rich source. I kind of touched on that, but you know, let me just make sure that that's real clear. Like if we go to the Warrior Forum, you know, we just take a look at what's going on. What are the hot discussions that are going on in the Warrior Forum? So I'd pay special attention to the little ones with the little fire sign here. Prove me wrong, please, because I am close to living on the street. That's probably not an angle we want to go with. How to monetize, you know, you may not have 10,000 blog visitors, but how to monetize your blog would be a great report, especially if you made it, you know, the best way to monetize your blog, or 5 top ways to monetize your blog. Let's see, what is your biggest mistake? So that could be a really good one, particularly if you went into the actual discussion and you look at what people say. You know, the top mistakes internet marketers make and how to avoid them. Okay, so so we can go. Let's see here. I just noticed we've got a couple of comments here. So yeah, just to go back, Randy said very helpful. Using the mind map tool is a great suggestion. Yeah, it's really cool. There are some other ones out there. I think there's one called The Brain. I've got that installed on my computer. It looks kind of cool, and knowing how I operate and how my brain works, I'm surprised I haven't really embraced that one. But they have a free version now. That used to be paid at like 200+ bucks. And so take a look at that and just do a search around. A lot of people use one called XMind. I'm not sure, you know, how versatile that one is. Samantha, I have notes all over the place and I've been unable to get started due to disorganization. This has made everything so much clearer. Yeah, Samantha, you know, in another life, if I don't know, maybe in my next life, my next you know, career thing is really to teach people about how to effectively use mind maps, because I don't know. I think I've only ever come across one other person who talks about using mind maps to write, you know, reports or books, and so I think it's a really great idea. It's a great way to organize things. And Jordan, thank you. That's good. Good to hear. So as well, guys, you know, we're looking at this forum thing here from looking for ideas, but again, keep in mind, almost always in forums there are some golden posts that are included in things. Be very careful. You don't want to plagiarize things and take them and use them verbatim, but always keep in mind that, you know, ideas expressed originally are not, we can't copyright them. So somebody can come to the Warrior Forum and sell post the most valuable, innovative, unique, never been shared before idea, and once it's out there in the public, there's like nothing to protect that idea. Anybody can come and take that idea and write about that idea as long as it's in your own language there. You should be good to go. You shouldn't have any problems with that at all. And so it's a great way of harvesting information, to share to people. It's very valuable, especially to people who value, their time. I mean, even if it may be free out there, particularly if you don't know anything, that's the other part of it. Just because it's free doesn't mean it's valuable or good information either. And then let's see here. The following here, just the niche ideas. This is kind of a limited list here, but that's one of the other nice things about the How-To Seeker software is that it comes with a whole bunch of ideas here. If you're ever kind of stuck for ideas, gee, what do I write about? You can see here. I mean, these are tons and tons and tons and tons of niches here. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're all great niches, and there are even new things that could be added to this, that come out, daily, weekly, monthly. So just keep those things in mind. So guys, I want to keep these webinars closer to an hour out of respect for your time as well as mine. And I also want to call your attention, even though we are as of yet up in the air on some of the topics. If you come here to the webinars, and I will be creating a unique page for the for you members, because not everybody should have access to these webinars. But we do have a schedule up on the site, and this will run through the end of the year. A week from today, we will do an Affiliate Black Month monthly Q&A session. That will run probably at a maximum of an hour. It will depend on people showing up with questions, and I'm happy to answer any question on any subject matter related to affiliate marketing on these sessions. And we're going to do one of those per month, and so you guys are invited to all of those as just Affiliate Black Book buyers, even if you are no longer a member. That is something that I'm going to do for you guys at least through the end of the year. And then also we have a schedule going forward for the member webinar. So our next member webinar will be on the 27th of this month, August 27th. We're going to do these about every 3 weeks. So some months, every month we'll have at least one. Some months we'll have two of those in. And so that one will be on the subject of retargeting, which I think is really key and critical and powerful for us affiliates. So if you have any questions, let's see here, and I'll get to your comments here in a second. But if you have any questions that you would like to have covered and you will not be able to make it to one of these Q&A webinars, I will set up a page on the website where you can ask your questions. Of course, you can ask your questions on any related page on the website, but I'll put up a page just for that if you've got questions that you would like to have addressed in those webinars, so that we have plenty of things that we can cover and make those as useful as possible. So Jordan, the retargeting webinar, outstanding. I hope that will be really good and useful. And Samantha says, I will do my best to make it each time. Start time is 4 a.m. for me. Ouch, Samantha, where are you? Where are you in the world? 4 a.m., I'm trying to imagine where you could be. Adelaide, okay. Wow, yikes. Yeah, so you must be on, I don't know Australia that well, but you must be on the east side of Australia then? Not the west side. See, I thought I had this schedule pretty well set up, but it is very difficult. And okay, south, okay. So if we had an award to give out, definitely you would deserve the award today for the most dedicated amongst us. Thank you for being here, Samantha. I hope it was truly worth your time and getting up for. Okay? All right, guys, let's go ahead and wrap this up. As always, if you have any questions, let me know through the site. And I truly very much appreciate everybody being here today. So thank you very much. If your day is just getting started, I hope you have a great day. And if it's winding down, have a great evening. Take care, and thank you again. Bye-bye.